Good morning, everyone, and a very happy New Year to you today. And really, let's make 2019 our best year yet. And over the Christmas period, I've got friends around, and one of them asked me a question which I mentioned in the post that I put up. This friend of ours, Rob. And the question he asked me was, how do you set goals in times of extreme uncertainty? And the thing that Rob was particularly referring to here in the UK is obviously Brexit. Everybody's talking about it. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Will it be a Brexit with a deal? Will it be a no-deal Brexit? Will there be another referendum? So there's a lot of uncertainty there. Then when I'm talking to my friends out in the States, there's a lot of uncertainty still around the Trump administration. So I think anywhere that you go in the world, at this point in time in history, there is a lot of uncertainty. The question I get asked a lot is, are we due another crash in the market, a crash in the economy? And obviously the markets over the holiday period were very volatile. We saw some record drops, both in the UK and in the US. They've recovered at this point in time, but I looked at that from a historical point of view. As many of you know, I've got a background in electronics, particularly in radio frequencies. So what I did was I looked at the markets as a waveform, and looked at the highs and the lows over a period of time, and looked at them as a sine wave. They're not exactly a sine wave because there's noise there. But what I've noticed over the last 100 years or so, then the frequency is slowed down. So the amount of time between a high and a low is increased. So the frequency is lower, but the amplitude is bigger. The difference between the high and the low is hugely increased, but the time between the high and the lows has increased. So when you look at that, if we look at it from that point of view, is there going to be a financial crash? Yeah, there is. Will it be, looking at it from a prediction point of view, is it going to be bigger than any one that we've had before? If the trend follows, yeah, it is. And then a lot of people would could Brexit actually trigger that? Yeah, it could. So is there uncertainty? Yes. So, then a lot of people have said to me, well, I'm not going to set any goals until I'm certain as to what's going to happen. And that absolutely is, in my opinion, is not the way to deal with this. So what I want to share with you is not only how to set goals in times of uncertainty, but how to actually achieve goals in times of uncertainty. Because again, if we looked at it from a bull and a bear market perspective, bull is when markets are on the rise, people are buying, prices are rising. Bear market is when people are selling and prices are going down. Some of the biggest fortunes in history have actually been made during bear markets rather than bull markets. So even when this thing happens, it's just a matter of time, there are some massive opportunities to be had at those moments in time, as long as we keep our heads together. So let's talk about then how do we go about doing this? Well, there's 4 questions. I said about 4 questions around goals. I'd never really thought about this before. It's things that I'd mentioned in previous Facebook Lives, but I'd never thought about it quite this way before. And it's how do we bring in the format system with goal setting? So the format system is driven by 4 questions. The questions being why, what, how, and what if. Those being the 4 questions that we've got there. So in times of increased uncertainty that we've got at the moment, the important thing is the goal is the what. That's all the goal is. What is it that you want to achieve? What is it that you want to create? And, I've talked in previous Facebook Lives about the importance of being specific around those smart things. So I'm not going to go through that again. You can look at that in previous Facebook Lives. Also, you can check it out in the app available at davidshepard.com if you don't have that already, where all the previous Facebook Lives are actually available. So the goal is the what. Now, the important thing is the why. The why is the reason why you want to achieve the goal. And it's really important that you have a massive why. Because when times get tough, it's the why that keeps you going. And so, the important thing really is get some goals which have got massive whys for you, massive reasons why you want to achieve them. And again, I'm not going to go through what I've said in previous Facebook Lives. The important thing there is that the why is towards rather than away from, as in what this goal will enable you to have creates a massive emotional drive, a positive emotional drive, a drive of excitement, if you like. Why on earth would you set goals that aren't exciting goals? If you put boring goals out in your future, then you can expect your future to be boring. But equally, if you've got boring goals out in your future, don't expect to rock up and jump out of bed every morning. The thing that's going to get you out of bed in the morning is exciting goals. So that's the first thing that's really important. Then when you're setting goals, a lot of people get trapped in the how. Yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. You don't need to know how. All you need to know is the what. As long as there is a big enough why that's driving the what, you'll find the how. Then we've got this is what people are getting trapped in at the moment. This is where the uncertainty comes in. The what ifs. Yeah, but what if the economy crashes? What if Trump gets in for another 4 years? What if we have a no-deal Brexit? What if the whole thing comes crashing down? What if I lose my job? What if my partner leaves me? What if I get ill? Or whatever that might be. The what ifs don't, I actually used to have a thing that I used to say about what ifs. I had to change because a number of people said that it was offensive. So I'm going to be maybe a little bit more PC this year than previously. If you believe that, you'll believe anything. So when you're setting goals, I can't personally change what's happening with Brexit. I can't change the economy. No matter how much we want to put ourselves at cause as a creator of the universe, then, I think I'd be being unrealistic if I thought, right, I'm going to change my mind and I'm going to stop Brexit, or I'm going to make Brexit happen this way, or I'm going to stop the economy crashing. That's not what being at cause is about. What cause is about being at cause for the way that you respond to those things. That we can completely control, and we can be completely at cause for. So that, if we bomb out of Europe with no deal, then having emotional mastery, being in a good state, so that no matter what happens, no matter what the what if is, you know that somehow you'll find a way of still achieving your goals. That is how we go about setting goals in times of uncertainty. So those are the 4 questions that drive that. Then I mentioned there's 2 other questions, which again ties into this. And those questions are, once you've got your goal, this is what it is that I want to create, this is what I want to achieve. 2 questions for you to ask yourself, or ask your clients if you're a coach. Do I believe I can make this happen? Or if that's the question for yourself, if you're asking a client, coaching client, do you believe you can make this happen? And what you need from that is a resounding 100% yes. yes, I totally can make this happen. Yeah. If you don't get a resounding yes, then in some way, shape or form, you've got a limiting belief, or there's some negative emotions around that, which, to be able to achieve your goals, you've got to get those out of the way. You've got to clear the path. The next question is, once you've got a resounding yes to that, is, do you believe, or do I believe this will happen? This is where your potential what ifs will come out. So, quite often people go, yes, I do believe this will happen, provided the economy continues going the way that it's going. Yes, I do believe I can make this happen as long as I keep my job, as long as I keep my health, as long as we don't have a hard Brexit, as long as all those kind of things. All of those things will derail you. Because what will happen is you won't achieve your goal, and you'll go, I told you I'd be able to achieve my goal as long as this didn't happen, and it did. So what you've got to have really to that is, yes, I totally believe I can make this happen. Yes, this will happen. Regardless of what's thrown at me, I will find a way. This is the really, what I talk about is at times of extreme uncertainty, like we've got at this point in time, this is absolutely the wrong time to have a fixed plan about how you're going to achieve something. Because you can't build a plan to deal with all of the possible outcomes and the uncertainties. So the thing that we need to have at this point in time is the drive, which comes from the why, the target, which comes from the what, and having know-how. As in, you don't need to know how. You will find a way to get to the target regardless of what's thrown at you. That's the important thing at this particular point in time, and probably more at this particular point in time than probably at any point in time in history. So that's the thing. Set goals. Get the big why, and just go, regardless of what happens, I will find a way of making this happen. So the certainty you create inside of yourself. Is there certainty outside? No, there isn't at this point in time. So there's no point going looking for it. What you've got to do is to create the certainty inside of yourself. A certainty that no matter what happens, you will find a way to get to where you want to be in 2019 and the years to come. Now, the other thing that I said in the post was normally I set my goals between around New Year's Eve. I start preparing the things on New Year's Eve or before New Year's Eve, and then I actually set them. I put them out in my future timeline using the Create Your Future process, which many of you are already aware of. Around about New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I haven't done that this year. There's a reason for that. I am waiting to actually set my goals until the 5th and 6th of January. There is a new moon on the 5th of January, and new moons astrologically are a great time to set new goals and new intentions. And on the 6th, there is actually a partial eclipse, which is also a very powerful astrological combination. And also the 6th of January is my birthday, which is when my new year starts, right? But also from the Christian religion, the 6th of January is the feast of the Epiphany, when the three wise men brought the gifts of a gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now, obviously, that's in the Christian religion, that's a fact, it's a truth. Or if we want to look outside of that, it's a metaphor, it's a symbol of riches being delivered. So what I've decided to do this year is to hold off on setting my goals until the 6th of January, my 56th year, and to harness that energy that's going to be there, in the universe at that particular point in time. Everything goes through cycles, and that's when a new cycle starts. It's a particularly, obviously, important cycle for me, but it's an important cycle for everyone, which is the reason why I'm holding off for a few more days before I go about setting my goals for 2019. And it's going to be a big year. I've got a lot planned, and a lot of outcomes, a lot of new things that I'm going to be doing over 2019 and beyond. So again, thank you for joining me either live. I know some of you have joined me live today, so good morning to you, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I know some of you have already said you can't join me live, and you're going to be watching the recordings. So hello to you. And again, I wish you a very, very, very happy 2019. Go out and make it your absolute best year yet. Regardless of what happens in the rest of the world, create your world exactly the way that you want it. And I'll see you again over this year. I've got some new Facebook Lives planned. Another question that came up from my meeting with Rob was around emotional mastery, which I think is an important skill. An ability to be able to, create that certainty inside of yourself. So I'm going to do a Facebook Live in the next week or so on emotional mastery. Until then, have a great first week of January, and I look forward to either seeing you in person or virtually over the next 12 months. Bye for now.